Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream. Market bell is about to ring and there are some scary stuff out there. So let's talk about it and why Bitcoin holders need to watch out. So let's do this. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing good. The market bell is about to ring. There we go. Market bell has just rung. Best bell in the industry. And you can see today's little red. Actually, NASDAQ is very, very red. This is on top of yesterday's red. This whole week, so far in September, no good. No good for U.S. markets, and there are many reasons for that. First and foremost, I think this is a huge reason why all the tech companies and crypto has been going down, has been weaker, because the DXY continues to climb higher. We are right at 105. DXY going up to 105 may not seem like a big deal, but there's a dramatic difference between, say, a $105 index and a $100 index. And it has been going up and up and up and up. And we haven't seen this level, you can see right there, since March of 2023. And before that, that was our previous peak. So we even surpassed our June peak. And if this keeps on going, reaching like October levels of 2022, that would be really, really bad. And again, in case you don't know why this makes a difference, well, just think about it. When the dollar is going up, which it shouldn't, but temporarily in shorter time frames, dollar can gain strength against everything else when there's fear in everything else. And when people don't know what to do with their money, then they buy treasury bonds or notes, or they hold cash. And that's what's happening right now. Not just, and this is not just a US thing, because other countries, their currencies, their fear also affect the dollar and the strength of the dollar. Okay, so that's exactly what's going on right now. Okay, around the world, you have many countries that are suffering once again. Their currencies are getting weaker once again. So that is why the dollar is gaining strength. And when the dollar is getting strength, risk on assets like tech and crypto traditionally goes down. There's an inverse relationship actually between the two, right? So I think that's the biggest reason with all the weakness that we're seeing in September right now, okay? Now, there's another reason that's starting to spur up, I guess, is the next interest rate, okay? The next rate hike. Are we going to get another one? Well, according to this CMC Fed tool, right now it's 91% chance that the FOMC meeting that's coming up later this month, in a couple weeks, it's 91% chance there's no increase, okay? Which is good. This is good. No one wants to increase, right? So what's scary about that? Nothing. But the one afterwards, November, now there's a 45% chance, according to the analysts that are making this prediction, thinks that in November we're going to get another rate hike, another 25% basis point bump. That is no good. No one wants to see more rate hikes, okay? No one. It does no one good. It kills banks and their business. It kills small business. It kills the middle class, if you think about it, because it is virtually impossible to get a mortgage anymore, or even a car loan, and everything else from an equity loan to credit card loans, right? Not that they're good things, but still, the interest on them are sky high. So it's really crippling a lot of families, a lot of businesses, right? And no one wants that. But, you know, that's also scary. So now there's talks about, well, even if we don't get a rate hike this coming FOMC meeting, we might get the one afterwards, okay? Which, again, would be no good, right? So right now, it's a little FUD-ish out there, okay? FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's a little FUD-ish out there. And that's why, you know, a lot of people are starting to turn sour for September, and also September is a traditionally a bad month for S&P 500. The average return over the last like 70 years is like negative 0.9%. So September is not a good month for markets. Okay, but what about Bitcoin and crypto? Right now, Bitcoin and crypto not seeing a whole lot of movement right now either, right? So what's so scary about what's going on right now? Well, there's a couple things. So first and foremost, this 200 EMA line, this has been always seen as like the ultimate support for Bitcoin. Again, this is measured over years. Okay, you can see all the way back to 2015. A lot of stuff. A lot of years and a lot of up and downs. That's what I meant to say. But you can see periodically Bitcoin falls below, right? Those are considered the capitulation periods, like the really nasty, scary periods, right? 2019, we saw Bitcoin stay under for a while. 2010, temporarily, or 2020, I should say. And 2022 was actually the longest drawdown below that EMA 200. But we did come back up, right? And now we're retesting it once again. But you can see going back, you don't really see that retest much. Last time we saw a couple retouches was back in 2015, right? So this has some people scared that maybe Bitcoin falls below the 200 EMA once again, which would be considered bearish, right? But on the other hand, if it does, you could see it as a generational buying opportunity, because every time we come above and then we get into the new bull run, you know, of course, we're making a higher high and higher low, right? But I think some people are looking at this, wondering if we're going to go lower. And there are some TA analysts that are thinking that, yeah, we may drop down. We may drop down, according to Stock Money Lizards, who traditionally is very bullish. Even they posted this, saying that in September, we may see something like this where Bitcoin goes down, right? Maybe to the 23 or 24 level in September. And then in October, it'll come right back up to 30, 31,000 and continue on from there, right? So I'm noticing some even some of the TA analysts out there, actually not some, a lot of TA analysts out there thinking that it's going to be pretty rough in September, okay? So does this mean that we should all just sell in September and go away? No, it does not mean that at all. Here's a good reminder why, okay, it's good to be in Bitcoin for a long haul. Okay, so you have a very famous economist, Paul Krugman, okay? You know, he was asked about Bitcoin 12 years ago when it was about $7, okay? And he dismissed it and said that there's no way there's no way it could sustain as a currency. There's no way it's going to go bye-bye. It's going to go bankrupt, right? And he dismissed it. Well, after dismissing it, it went up 366,000%, okay? And this is at our current level, about 25, 26,000. If we measure it to like 70,000, I mean, it's like 1,000,000%, okay? So this is the reason why. If you're a Bitcoiner, if you're an investor, you want to hold for long haul, right? You don't want to hold just for short-term gains. And because you're going to be missing out. So many people get scared out, get fudded out for whatever reason, okay? And they're like, enough is enough. I need to get out. I'm not going to be in it, right? But more often than not, those people get hurt because when things come back, they come back really, really fast. And some of the fuddish things that people thought was going to happen didn't happen, right? And then they end up losing out completely, or they have to buy in at a higher price, which will cost them a lot of money, right? So despite everything that's going on, right, and it does seem a little fuddish right now, I am still as bullish as ever because I know that Bitcoin has not changed. Fundamentally, it has not changed. In fact, I always argue that the fundamentals of Bitcoin has never, ever been stronger. And it continues to rise up. And, you know, so any of the small things that we're seeing right now, I mean, it's all temporary. And we will get past it. Just like this, it's part of fundamental. Number of addresses holding over 1 Bitcoin. You could see there are periods where it dips a little bit. It does dip a little bit. But we haven't seen it dip since 2021. And especially starting from 2023, it's been rising and rising and rising at a more ferocious level. We have never had this many addresses hold at least 1 Bitcoin. That means the number of the whole coiners out there have increased by this much, right? Going all the way back to 2011 till now, right? So again, part of the growing fundamentals of Bitcoin, the hash rate, everything that you can measure is going upwards, either going upwards or at an all-time high already. So think about that, okay? And outside fundamentals, of course, we have some major catalysts that's right around the corner. We don't know when they're going to strike. For example, Grayscale. Grayscale is urging the SEC to approve their ETF request. This could be right around the corner. Grayscale already won their lawsuit against the SEC. So what other reason does the SEC have to keep denying them, right? So we may see the very first Bitcoin spot ETF right around the corner, maybe even end of this month, maybe next month, maybe end of the year, right? The SEC can only push it back so far, okay? So this is also monumental. We've never, ever had a spot Bitcoin ETF before in the United States, ever, okay? And you know what happened? Let's say, look at this. Look at, I know my camera's kind of cutting it off here, but look at what happened with gold. Look at what happened in gold when its spot ETF got approved back in 2004, 2005. That's what happened shortly afterwards, right? So if we get the very first Bitcoin spot ETF, and we know there's like 7 applicants, okay? So are we going to see something similar? It's very, very likely. Why? Because now you have trillions on the sideline from these big institutions that could be entering into the space and getting Bitcoin or something equivalent that mimics Bitcoin's price movement, right? But the difference between spot ETF and futures ETF is the fact that these fund companies actually have to buy and hold Bitcoin. So the trillions that are coming in is going to cause massive amount of buying, right? So there's that too. You can't ignore this. I've been talking about it for a while, but it's just a matter of time before we get one. And I think it's still, SEC is going to delay this until probably the beginning of 2024, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe one gets approved right around the corner, right? And also, I talked about part of fundamentals is like hash rate, right? The miners. They're not going away, especially when this is happening. I saw this. This is crazy. Riot just got paid $32 million to basically shut down in August because of the heat wave, right? Texas wanted to make sure there was enough power in the energy grid for the homes because they need, they need the power for AC, right? So they actually paid Riot $32 million. And actually that's an enormous amount because Riot right now is making about $9 million, $10 million from their Bitcoin mining per month. So this is like, they're getting paid the entire summer, right? But this is another reason why the fundamentals of Bitcoin keeps on getting stronger, because these miners, the ones that are supporting the network, they're not going away. They keep on churning out more Bitcoins, right, for themselves. They're not releasing it. They're holding it for themselves, but they keep increasing their hash rate, which makes Bitcoin's network stronger and more resistant to hacks. Bitcoin's network has never been hacked. It's a stronger network on the planet right now, the most secure network we have, and the most decentralized network we have too. You can't replicate it. I keep telling people this. People don't quite understand how amazing the Bitcoin network is. You could argue, oh yeah, it's slow. You know, it takes 10 minutes for confirmations and stuff like that. But I don't think people really, normal people can't grasp the idea that Bitcoin network can't be replicated. Okay? If you have a conversation with someone that has no clue, they say, do you like Bitcoin? Do you know anything about it? They're like, yeah, it's not for me. I don't think it's going to work out, right? Why is it worth so much? I mean, the number one thing that you could explain to people is this. This decentralized network can't be replicated because countries, right? Countries will not let any other company or individual or, I don't know, or even government or bank create a system like Bitcoin where it can't be controlled or shut down, right? It's kind of too late for them to do that with Bitcoin, and they all realize that. That's why they have given up trying to kill the Bitcoin network. But for anyone else to have tried, they're shut down immediately. They're shut down immediately. So there is no way to replicate a decentralized network like Bitcoin anymore, because anyone that tries will get pushback from the government or from the bank or from wherever saying, hey, we need more insight into this. We need more control over this, right? So you can't even replicate this network. That in itself is worth, it's priceless. You can't put a price tag on it. When you can't replicate something, it's priceless, right? So I don't think people think about that. If you take some time to think about how we have this decentralized network that no one could shut down, no one could replicate, and is the securest on the planet, how much is that worth? Trillions? Quadrillions? Priceless? That's exactly what it's worth. All right, now outside of these things, what else is going on? Well, today is also an anniversary. The 2-year anniversary of El Salvador adopting and embracing Bitcoin and making it legal tender. And has it done wonders for El Salvador? Well, one can argue that. Since then, tourism is up. Their volcano mining and their bonds is live. The country has bought over 2,500 Bitcoins. They still make headline news. So, yeah, I would say that's a win, right? Obviously not every citizen of El Salvador and every business is fully, embracing Bitcoin, but it's definitely a good start. And it's a good, I guess, model for other countries to mimic, because like right now you have a lot of other countries in South America, like Argentina, for example, that are really struggling. They're really struggling. The citizens are struggling. The banks are struggling. Right? So they need a better system. And that's why they're looking at Bitcoin. They're looking at El Salvador. Obviously, Argentina is a much bigger country, but they're looking at a lot of the same things. How do we incorporate Bitcoin and utilize it, right, for our benefit? So pretty good. Pretty good. And as time goes on, we're going to get more and more and more countries embracing Bitcoin, right? So again, short term, there might be some scariness. Some little scariness. Some FUD out there. But long term, man, I'm as bullish as ever. Okay? There might be a lot of technical analysts and people out there saying, drawing lines saying, oh, well, we're going to go down, right? But long term, when you're in Bitcoin, you're in it for long term. And I don't want to miss out on another 366,000%, right? Because I know there's so much still waiting to come, right? And you guys, don't be discouraged. All right. Now, outside of Bitcoin, I got some exciting stuff to share with you. Okay. Well, one thing that's really exciting, but it's not time yet. But I guess this is pretty exciting. Cardano has a new technology called warp transactions. It's not Cardano itself. I thought Cardano Cardano probably enabled this, but no one took advantage of it. So now you have this wallet, Typhoon wallet, that offers warp transactions, which means you can send Cardano tokens between wallets without needing any ADA. That's why they call it warp. And it just eats it somehow. It doesn't even pay for it. It just makes it so that you don't need ADA to send. I don't know how that is possible, but it does some kind of new multi-signature transaction, and somehow it fixes it. That sounds pretty crazy. I know in ETH, there's a lot of wallets that do that, like RX, for example. Their wallet will take like whatever you're trying to trade and convert it to ETH and kind of make that happen. But this doesn't seem like it's doing that. It just seems like it doesn't need any ADA to transfer. But that's kind of crazy if you think about it, right? So good for Cardano. Also, Chainlink. A lot of people talking about Chainlink recently. Their new 0.2 V.2 staking offers, greater flexibility, improved security, and dynamic rewards, right? Chainlink has been doing pretty well, especially with the sharks and whales that have started accumulating quite a lot recently. So something is going on, right? But more staking features mean that more Link is going to be staked and taken out of circulation, and that's a win. That's a big, big win for Chainlink. I saw this. This is not positive news, but there's an individual that lost 24 million due to a phishing attack. All right, that's a lot. 4,800, 4,900 Rocket Pool ETH and about 9,600 Little staked ETH. And basically, what people think is he clicked on a link that had a malicious signature, and it took it all out of his wallet, right? So again, can't stress enough that when you are in control of your own crypto, you're in control of your own wallets, right? You still have to be very, very careful on the websites that you go to, the emails that you open, because people will send you malicious code or links. And if you click into them and they hijack your browser, your session, they give you an invalid or bad signature or wherever, right? You could be harmed in a big way. So just be careful. This is a reminder of that. And then lastly, this is a very exciting thing. It's not supposed to be out yet, but it is. The next crypto gem is supposed to debut tonight. Supposed to debut right around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, competing with football. But it got leaked. I guess it's leaked, whatever. It's fine. So I've been telling you guys you could go on Distro TV, and this actually leaked out yesterday. You could see right here the next crypto gem. If you guys search for it, you will see it. So you get to watch episode 1 ahead of everyone, right? But it is also being distributed on Amazon and a lot of cable TV providers. They will all come out shortly later today. But if you want to watch episode 1 ahead of everyone else, you could go on this Distro TV app, and then you can watch the next crypto gem, right? I put a link in the description. I think you guys will enjoy it. This is just episode 1. It's more of like an introduction, but it reveals 3 of the projects that are on the show. All right, that is pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Well, it's good to see Dow is turning green, but NASDAQ is still very, very low. We got to see that turn back up. Where's that thing? All right. All right, let's see here. Scrolling up, let me see. Crypto Info DYOR made it live. Awesome, glad that you're here. Powell will threaten further hikes, but won't do it, according to Brendan. I really hope that's the case. I hope this prediction in November is false and fake, because that would be bad. That would be bad. Let's see. When Pepe ETFs, hopefully we never get a Pepe ETF. Okay, let's pray that never happens. ADA is good. People are excited about ADA. I mean, this warp transaction sounds pretty crazy. And if all the wallet makers in Cardano can enable this or implement this will be a leg up on everyone else, right? It is very annoying. You know, those of you guys that deal a lot with wallets, it's very annoying when you send everything and then you forget to leave a little bit and there's not enough ETH, for example. And same thing with Cardano. If you're trading, you got to leave a little ADA. If this could get rid of that requirement, that would be crazy. I guess it did because it's working already. It's just that it's just this one wallet. Marcus says, I get paid on Wednesday. I'm not going to check the crypto price until Wednesday. I need to break free. You do what you got to do. Mark, George, you are so sneaky. I've been asking about DFK and come to find out you picked him as a project in the next crypto gem. Are you bullish on Jewel? I can't really answer that until you watch the episodes. But I am rooting for DFK. I've said that. They have plummeted from their previous high. Obviously suffered through a lot of things. The Harmony hack. You know, they had to move realms, and yeah, they went through a lot. Some FUD around Frisky Fox, right? But I know they still have an active group. I was in their Discord yesterday. A lot of people still in there. I'm going to see what I can do to help them. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever come out with a George coin. I had one, but it's not a real coin. It was like a community coin by this one project that went belly up, right? But I don't think I'll ever come out with my own coin. Who do I have tonight? Chiefs or Lions? I don't follow football, so I don't know what moves these teams made in the offseason. Who's the best? Who's not? I really can't tell you. Am I getting a new Tesla Model 3 Highlander? No, I am not. I'm kind of done with Teslas, to be honest. Besides the Cybertruck, I think that may be the last Tesla I ever buy. I'm not a fan. I'm not a Tesla fanboy. So many people that get a Tesla become Tesla fanboys, and they kind of ignore everything else that's bad with Teslas. There's a lot of bad, right? But with that said, as an investor, Tesla stock is definitely a long-term hold. No one can compete with it. No one. They are now dominating the charging space. as all of these manufacturers are embracing Tesla's standard. From a profits perspective, from a revenue perspective, they are light years ahead of everyone else. They're the only car manufacturer that's growing like double digits every single year. So as an investor, Tesla stock is a great hold. But as a driver of cars, I guess, Tesla has so many flaws. Are you going to upgrade an exhaust on your Ferrari? I'm thinking about it because it's not as aggressive as I would like. Upon startup, it's very loud and throaty, and then once you start driving it, it's like it just disappears. It really just like they toned it down so much, and even when you go to sport mode, it doesn't do anything with the Ferrari. I mean, with the exhaust. So I don't want to put any money towards it right now. Cole's watching at 4 a.m. from Hawaii. Thank you. What's KuCoin verification for U.S. citizen? What can we do? Raymond, there's nothing you could do. Basically, if you're in the U.S., you can't use KuCoin anymore. They require KYC for all their users, and in the U.S., you can't do KYC. So basically, you have to get off of the platform. I had every single Tesla, basically, besides the Model 3. Model 3 was actually the worst Tesla, or is the worst Tesla. I have not driven a new one, so I don't know. But the current one is the worst one out of the four. I had a Model Y, I had a Model S, and I have currently a Model X. Okay. The worst thing about owning a Tesla is its depreciating value, which really sucks. And this is caused primarily by Tesla themselves that keeps decreasing the price, which is great for new buyers, but horrible for existing people that hold Teslas. It just cuts their value by like half, right? Also, FSD, right? They raised the FSD price up to $15,000 recently. They dropped it to $12,000. In my opinion, FSD will never be done. Every single update gets a little bit better, little bit better, little bit better. But if I had to rate it from like a 1 to 10 scale, FSD is still at like a 5. It's nowhere close being fully autonomous. So people are just paying for the pipe dream, right? Paying $12,000 or $15,000 for FSD that you won't ever be fully using for like another 30 years probably. So that also sucks. In terms of the luxury inside, it pales compared to anything that the Germans have inside a Tesla versus Audi or Mercedes or BMW. It's like light years difference in terms of quality, fit and finish, interior volume. It's night and day. It's a difference between, I don't know, it's different between like a Toyota Camry and it's a bigger difference than say a Toyota Camry than a Lexus, right? It's like a much bigger difference. It's not even in the same realm. Yeah. So there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of things that I hate about Teslas. Ricky, all cars depreciate, but not more than not more than Teslas. I mean, it's great for new buyers, and I know why they do it, right? Like they just dropped the price. They dropped the Model X and S by $20,000 recently, which is great for new buyers. New buyers are like, okay, I could get these cars $20,000 cheaper. But imagine the people that just picked it up earlier this year. Now their car is worth $20,000 less. And also, other dealerships outside of Tesla hate taking Teslas as a trade-in because they don't want to deal with their EV cars, right? So whenever I ask dealerships about like, hey, how much can I get for this Tesla? All of them is like, we don't really want it. And whatever the ones that'll give you a price, they'll give you a really low ball price. So it's like you can't even trade it in if you wanted to. So that is also a problem too. All right, I went on I went off on a tangent on Tesla. No more Tesla talk. Gene, I love KuCoin. Do you have a suggestion for crypto site I could use? Well, if you want something international, MEXC is the next closest thing. So MEXC has pretty much the same crypto, has the same kind of features, right? And they don't require KYC right now. Drew, would love to examine your analytics to see if we can predict a bull market based on trends. Okay. I'm not going to give you my analytics though, Drew. Sorry. The new Sequoia, it's okay. It's way better than the old generation, but compared to, I hate to say it, like the Tahoe or the Expedition, they're way better than Sequoia. They're still bigger, more usable, more comfortable. The drive is better. The only thing you could argue is, I guess, depreciation, but Tahoes hold their values very well. Expeditions, not so much, but Tahoes do. Utero. On to other news. What about this BitBoy saga? I don't know what else you guys want to say about it, right? Obviously, he broke up. He's still trying to work things out with Hit Network. He has started his own channel, right? We'll see how much of his old followers start watching his videos again. I don't know. I've watched just one of his videos recently in his basement. I wish the best for him. It's hard. It's going to be very hard to start over. But, you know, everything that's been going on with him and the Hit Network is an unfortunate thing, right? To see someone get booted out of their own company. So, I don't know what else there is to say about that situation. Dude, let's see if DXY moved at all. Ouch. DXY above 105. When the DXY goes up, it's very bad. We don't want to see a stronger dollar. As strange as that sounds, when the DXY goes up, that's no good for crypto or for tech. All right, guys. To conclude, yeah, it seems a little fuddish recently, right? A lot of people are scared about the rising dollar, the next potential rate hike that could be coming in November, right? A lot of analysts are saying, well, TA perspective, it looks pretty dark for Bitcoin as well. But you know what? I'm as bullish as ever. I don't want to be like Paul. I don't want to be like this guy and miss out another $366,000%, okay? There's still so much goodness in this space, so much goodness that will be coming, and I am hanging on tight, and you guys should too. All right, I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.